Hello, future engineers and subscribers. In this video, I'm going to discuss 22 problems on resultant of concurrent force systems, 11 in 2D dimensional and also 11 in 3D space. Now, the resultant may be of any value, but if it is in 3D, I suggest that you present solutions by vector approach so that we can easily compute the components. Now, the principle for resultant of uh, concurrent for systems, both in 2D and 3D, are in part 10 after this. But for those who are already students in statics, there's no need to do that. Now, for 3D concurrent for systems, the resultant may be expressed in terms of its magnitude and its direction cosines or direction angles depending on the problem. You can also determine the resultant in 3D space or in 2D space. It may be specified or it may be zero. So I hope that you can trace problems where the resultant is zero. So good luck to your journey in this part 9. So here is the first problem. Determine the magnitude and direction of the resultant force. So in this problem, I'm going to present two ways. One is the component method and adding them, and the second way is by vector approach. So I need to present two solutions, and in a detailed manner. The succeeding problems, it is no longer like this presentation. So I'll denote 300 as F1, 400 newtons in the first quadrant F2, and F3 to 50 newtons. So Rx is summation forces X. So for F1, 300, it is already 300, or 300 cosine of 0 is 300. Then for F2, which is 400 newtons, its X component is positive because F2 is directed up and to the right. So to the right means positive X component. And it is 400 cosine of 30. Then for F3, because it is directed up to the left, the X component is negative, and it is equal to 250 times negative 4 over 5. Or negative 250 times cosine of this angle, and the cosine of this angle with the x-axis is 4 over 5. So combining, Rx is equal to 446.4 newtons. Then for Ry, this F1 here's Ry summation forces y. This force 300 newtons is zero. The y component is 0. You may write it as 300 sine of 0, or it is obvious that it is horizontal, so there's no vertical component. So Ry is 0. The y component of F2 is upward, so it's positive. 400 hypotenuse, 400 sine of 30. And for 250, it is also positive because it is upward. 250 times sine of theta, sine of this angle here, which is 3 over 5. So plus 250 times 3 over 5. Combining, Ry is equal to 350 newtons. Then the magnitude of R is square root of 446.4 square plus 350 square. And since both Rx and Ry are positive, the resultant lies in the first quadrant. And the angle is automatic arctan of Ry over Rx. There's no need to put absolute value bars. So R is equal to 567.3 newtons. Then theta R is arctan of 350 over 446.4, and that is equal to 38.10 degrees. Now, the answer therefore is 567. 567.3 newtons at theta r equals 38.10 degrees, and it is understood counterclockwise from the positive x-axis. Now for the second solution, let's express each force in vector form. So F1, because it is purely directed to the right, it is 300 I newtons. F2 is magnitude 400 times quantity cosine of 30 degrees I plus sine 30 degrees J. And simplifying F2, these are vectors, boldface. So 346.4 I plus 200 J newtons. And lastly, the 250 Newton force F3 is its x component is negative. So 250 times negative 4 over 5I plus 3/5 J. Simplifying, that's negative 200I plus 150J. Then the resultant is simply the vector sum of these three forces, F1 plus F2 plus F3. So to add, express R in vector form, we simply add corresponding components. So 300I plus 346.4I minus 200I, then 200 plus 150, 350J. For the X component, 300I plus 346.4 minus 200, that's equal to uh, quantity 446.4 I plus 350.0 J newtons, which is the same as this. This is the X component and that's the Y component. So that's it. There's no need to specify the angle because that is already in vector form. So for problem 2, determine the magnitude of the resultant force and its direction measured counterclockwise from the positive x-axis. So here, I'll present component method. So x component of F1 is going to the left, so it is negative 60 times 1 over square root of 2, then minus 70 sine of 60 degrees, x component of 70, then 0 for 50 because it is directed downward. So Rx is negative 103.05 pounds. Ry is y component of F1 is positive 60 times 1 square root of 2. This F2 here is going down, so minus 70 cosine 60, then minus 50. So Ry is 60 times 1 over square root of 2 minus 70 cosine 60 degrees minus 50. So Ry is equal to negative 42.57 pounds. So both components are negative. R lies in the third quadrant as shown in the figure. So R is square root of 103.05 square plus 42.57 square for the magnitude. So R is 111.5 pounds. For the angle measured counterclockwise from the positive x-axis, remember that R lies in the third quadrant as shown, and these are the components. So we'll treat the components positive, all positive, because we want this angle to be solved. So from the figure, theta r is 180 degrees plus arctan of supposedly absolute value of 42.57 and divided by 103.05 absolute value. Remember, both are negative, so we just absolute value means that these are positive. So theta r is 180 degrees plus arctan of 42.57 over 103.05. So theta r is 202.4 degrees. So therefore, our final answer, r is 111.5 pounds at theta r 202.4 degrees. So that's it for this problem. Problem 3, express each of the three forces acting on the bracket in Cartesian vector form with respect to the x and y axis. Determine the magnitude and direction theta of F1 so that the resultant force is directed along the positive x prime axis and has a magnitude of Fr equals 600 Newton. So the resultant force is directed in that direction. I'll just call it R instead of Fr. So that the x component, because it is directed up and to the right, x component is positive, the y component is also positive. In vector form, that resultant is 600 cosine of 30 degrees I plus F1 sine of theta j. That's F1 rather. So in vector form, these are just magnitude, boldface, that's the vector. F2 is 350I, it is directed rightward. So it is just 350 I newtons. Then F3 0, but it is negative 100 J F3. So the x component of the resultant, or the resultant expressed in vector form, is 600 quantity cosine 30 degrees I, or 600 cosine 30 degrees I plus 600 sine 30 degrees J newtons. If we simplify that, that's 519.62 I plus 300 J. Since resultant Fr is sum of these forces, so sorry, I follow the figure. So I use Fr for the resultant. So this resultant is the sum of these three forces, F1 plus F2 plus F3. So 519.62 I plus 300 J equals quantity F1 cosine theta I plus F1 sine theta J plus 350 I, then plus negative 100 J. So equating identical terms, 519.62 equals F1 cosine theta I plus 350. And if we simplify that, 596.62 minus 350 is 196.2 J equals point 2 I equals F1 cosine theta I. So we cancel I. F1 cosine theta is equal to that. Call that the first equation. Then for the y component, 300, transpose this negative 100 to the left. So 400 J, or simply 400, then equate to this value here, F sine theta. So dividing F sine theta equals 400 by F1 cosine theta over or equals 169.2. So cancel F1, tangent theta is 400 over 169.62. So the resultant in indeed F1 indeed lies in the first quadrant. So tangent theta equals 400 over 169.62. So theta is arctan of quantity 400 over 169.62 degrees of 169.62. Theta is equal to 67.02 degrees. Then we substitute it into this equation. F1 sine 67.02 degrees equals 400. Then we can now solve F1, and it is equal to 434.5. That's the magnitude of F1. And the direction theta is 67.02 degrees of F1. So problem 4, the three forces are applied to the bracket. Determine the range of values for the magnitude of force P so that the resultant of the three forces does not exceed 2,400 newtons. The magnitude of the resultant does not exceed 2,400 newtons. So R should be less than 2,400, less than equal to 2,400, and R square is Rx square plus Ry square, where Rx is from the figure P plus 800 cosine 60 plus 3,000 cosine of 60 plus 90, so 150 degrees, Also, this component may be written as negative 3,000 cosine of this angle, which is 30 degrees because it is directed to the left. So you can replace this by negative 3,000 cosine 30 degrees if you want. Simplifying, Rx is P minus 2,198.08 newtons. Ry, on the other hand, P has no y component, so it is equal to 800 sine 60 degrees plus 3,000 sine of 150 degrees or 3,000 sine of 30 degrees. You can replace this by 3,000 sine 30 degrees. So simplifying, Ry equals 2192.82 newtons. Then by Pythagoras theorem, quantity P minus 2198.08 square plus 2192.82 square should be less than equal to 2,400 square. So transposing 2192.82 square to the right, so quantity P minus 2198.08 square must be less than 951540.45. Extracting square root, P is P minus 2198.08 is plus minus less than equal to plus minus 975.47. So if you use minus here, we'll have the minimum P. And if you use plus here, add with 2198.08, we'll get the maximum range. So for if we treat this negative 975.47, then plus 2198.08, it is 1222 newtons. And if we treat this positive 975.47 plus 2198.08, that's 3174 newtons. So 1222 newtons is less than equal to P, and P is less than equal to 3174 newtons. Problem 5. If the magnitude of the resultant force acting on the bracket is 400 pounds directed along the positive x-axis in that direction, so there's no y component of the resultant. Determine the magnitude of F1 and its direction P. So Rx is R vector equals, the magnitude of R is simply Rx, and it is equal to 400 pounds positive, and we equate it to the sum of x components. So equals F1 cosine P plus 300 times 4 over 5, then minus 260 times 5 over 13. So R, which is Rx, is 400 pounds, and it is equal to F1 cosine of P plus 300 times 4 over 5, then minus 260 times 5 over 13. Simplifying, F1 cosine theta is equal to 260. Call that equation 1. Summation forces y, Ry is 0. So 0 equals F1 sine theta minus 300 times 3 fifths, then minus 260 times 12 over 13. So simplifying, F1 sine theta equals 420. Call that equation 2. So equation 2 divided by equation 1. So divided by equation 1, then we have tangent theta equals quantity 420 over 260, or no, sorry, tangent of P equals quantity 420 over 260, or P is inverse tangent of 420 over 260, and P is equal to 58.24 degrees. Then we substitute this into this equation to F1 sine of 58.24 degrees equals 420. So we'll get F1 equals 494.0 pounds. So that's it. Problem 6. If the resultant force acting on the bracket is required to be a minimum, determine the magnitudes of F1 and the resultant force. So set P equals 30 degrees. This is 30 degrees. So the magnitude of R is to be minimum, and R square equals Rx square plus Ry square. So we set that up and we differentiate R with respect to F1. and then set to 0 because that represents slope. And remember, the slope of the tangent at the lowest point of the graph between R and F1 is horizontal. So that's why the slope is 0. So Rx is equal to F1 sine of 30 degrees, then plus 200, then plus 260 times 5 over 13. So Rx equals F1 sine 30 plus 3 plus 200 plus 260 times 5 over 13. X components are positive. So simplifying, Rx equals zero point 0.5 of F1 plus 300. Ry, on the other hand, is F1 cosine of P or F1 cosine of 30, then minus 260 times 12 over 13. Note that 200 has no y component. Simplifying, Ry equals square root of 2 over square root of 3 over 2 F1 minus 240. So we then substitute into Pythagoras theorem. R square equals quantity zero point 0.5 F1 plus 300 square plus quantity square root of 3 over 2 F1 minus 240 square. Differentiating R square with respect to F1 then equate to 0. So that is the 2R dr dF1 equals 2 times quantity zero point 0.5 F1 plus 300 to the 1. Derivative inside is zero point 0.5 with respect to F1 plus 2 times quantity square root of 3 over 2 F1 minus 240. Derivative inside is square root of 3 over 2 raised to 1, of course. So simplifying, zero point 0.5 F1 plus 300, then plus square root of 3 over 2 times square root of 3, so 3 halves F1, then minus 240 square root of 3 equals 0. So from here, we can now solve F1. F1 equals 57.85 newtons. Then for the magnitude of R, substitute here, R square equals quantity zero point 0.5 of 7.85 plus 300 square plus quantity square root of 3 over 2 times 57.85 minus 240 square. So we can now solve for R. R is equal to 379.8 newtons. So determine the magnitude of force F, this is problem 7, so that the resultant force of the three forces is as small as possible. What is the magnitude of this smallest resultant force? This is similar to problem 6. We have to minimize the resultant force. But before that, let's solve for Rx. Rx is 8, then minus 14 cosine 30 minus F cosine 45. So again, Rx is 8 minus 14 cosine 30 minus F cosine 45. Simplifying, Rx is equal to negative square root of 2 over 2F minus 4.124. Ry is 14 sine of 30 degrees minus F sine of 45 degrees. Simplifying, that's negative square root of 2 over 2F plus 7. So Pythagoras theorem, R square equals Rx quantity square, negative square root of 2 over 2F minus 4.124 square, plus quantity negative square root of 2 over 2F plus 7 quantity square. Differentiating with respect to F, so we have 2R dr F equals 0 equals 2 times quantity negative square root of 2 over 2F minus 4.124 raised to 1. Derivative inside is negative square root of 2 over 2 plus 2 times quantity negative square root of 2 over 2F plus 7 raised to 1 times negative square root of 2 over 2. Derivative inside. Then simplifying, take note, cancel 2. Negative square root of 2 times negative square root of 2 over 2 is F. Then plus 4.124 square root of 2, then plus F again, then minus 7 square root of 2 equals 0. So solving for F, F is 2.034 kilonewtons. Then for the magnitude of the smallest resultant force, substitute into this equation here. R square equals quantity negative square root of 2 over 2 of 2.034 minus 4.124 quantity square plus negative square root of 2 over 2 times 2.034 plus 7 quantity square. So using your calculator, R is 7.866 kilonewtons. Problem 8. Two cables are tied together at sea and are loaded as shown. Determine the range of values of P for which both cables remain taut. So that two cables remain taut and we'll get the minimum to maximum value. For minimum P, there should be no tension at A and it will be held by this tension at B here. So obviously P would be minimum. So we set tension at A 0, only T sub B will have a value and that remains, the cables will remain taut for that case. And take note, we are uh, getting minimum P. For maximum P, there should be tension at A, then this should be 0 so that only P will have to resist these two tensions. So that's the idea. So for minimum P, tension at A should be 0. So our equation would be P cosine of 45 degrees, summation versus x, 0 of course, plus T sub B sine of 30, then mine equals 200 or minus 200 equals 0. So P cosine of 45 degrees plus T sub B sine 30 degrees, then minus 200 equals 0. Then simplifying, P cosine 45 plus T sub B sine of 30 degrees, which is 0.5 equals 200. Call that equation 1. Then for the second, for maximum P, take note that T sub B should be 0 and P will only resist tension at A and this 200 Newton to be maximum. So summation forces Y, you can also have summation forces Y, of course. You can also have summation forces X if you want. So negative P sine of 45 downward, then plus y component of tensions at A, which is T sub A cosine of 30 degrees equals 0. So solving equations 1 and 2 simultaneously, P is 179.3 newtons while T sub B is 146.4 newtons. So take note that P here is minimum P. So for maximum P, T sub B is 0, then only T sub A has a value. Summation forces X, so P cosine 45 degrees minus T sub A sine 30 degrees minus 200 equals 0. Simplifying, P cosine 45 minus T sub A sine 30 degrees equals 200. Call that equation 3. Summation forces Y 0, negative P sine of 45 degrees plus T sub A cosine 30 degrees equals 0, equation 4. Solving these equations 3 and 4 simultaneously, P is 69.2, that's the maximum value. Then we can now set our answer, final answer, 179.3 newtons less than equal to P, and P is less than equal to 669.2 newtons. So that's it for this problem. Problem 9. A welded connection is in equilibrium under the action of the four forces shown. So this is one joint of a truss. Knowing that FA is 5 kilonewtons and FD is 6 kilonewtons, determine the magnitudes of the other two forces. So since the force system is in equilibrium, or these four forces are in equilibrium meeting at this point, so Rx is 0. So these are the given forces, Fa 5 kilonewtons and Fd 6 kilonewtons. So Ry is 0 first to solve for FB so that FC will not be involved. So that's true. So y component of FB, it is upward positive. So it is FB times 3 over 5. This is 5 by Pythagoras theorem. Then minus 5 times 3 over 5 also. Y component of 5 kilonewtons. So 5 times 3 over 5, but going down, negative. Minus 6 equals 0. So FB times 3 over 5 minus 5 times 3 over 5 minus 6 equals 0. So from there, we can solve FB. FB equals 15.00 kilonewtons. Then Rx is 0. And this is equal to 15. FB is 15 times 4 over 5. Then minus F sub C. Then minus 5 times 4 over 5 equals 0. 6 kilonewton has no x component. So Fc is equal to 8.00 kilonewtons. Another way of solving for Fc, we draw a line perpendicular or normal to the inclined axis of this gusset plate AC as shown. Then we call this theta, where cosine theta is 4 over 5, sine theta is 3/5. Then this is also theta for this part. Then the normal component of FC is this opposite here. So FC times, it is in the positive normal direction. Take note, it it is in this direction here. This is the tangential component and the normal component is going up. Only these two forces are involved. So FC times sine theta, which is 3 over 5, because that's the normal component. This is opposite to theta, parallel to to the n-axis. So FC times sine theta, which is 3 over 5. Then because the component of 6 kilonewton is going in this direction, opposite to n, so it's negative, and it is adjacent to theta. So minus 6 times cosine theta, which is 4 over 5. So that is Rn is 0, and it is equal to F sub c times 3/5 sine theta minus 6 kilonewtons times 4/5 equals 0. So Fc is also 8 kilonewtons. Problem 10. Three forces are applied to a bracket as shown. The directions of the two 150 Newton forces may vary, these two here, but the angle between these forces is always 50 degrees. Determine the range of values of alpha for which the magnitude of the resultant of the forces acting at A is less than 600 newtons. So to simplify the solution, my idea is I rotate the axis or these forces such that this 150 Newton force will be directed to the left along this horizontal axis as shown here, so that this 30 degrees plus alpha, I'll just treat that as theta as shown. So 150 newtons is directed to the left. So summation forces X, the idea here is Rx squared plus Ry squared should be less than equal to 600 square. So I assume that X component is positive to the left. All these three forces are to the left. So we have 100 Rx, which is equal to 150. This is going to the left. I treat that as positive. Then plus 150 cosine of 50, the X component of this 150 here. Then plus 500 cosine of theta. Then Rx simplifying as 246.42 plus 500 cosine of theta. Take note that we treat Rx to the left positive. Anyway, when we compute the for the magnitude, it does not matter. Then for Ry, we have 500 sine of theta then minus 150 sine of 50 degrees. Simplifying, Ry is 500 sine theta minus 114.91. Substitute into Pythagoras theorem, quantity 246.42 plus 500 cosine theta square plus quantity 500 sine theta minus 114.91 square must be less than equal to 600 square. So expanding, we have 246.42 square plus 2 times 246.42 times 500. That's 246420 cosine theta. And the second term is 500 square cosine square theta plus 500 square sine square theta, then minus 2 times 500 times 114.91, that's 114,910. Then sine theta plus the square of 114.91 square less than equal to 600. So take note that if we factor out 500 square, then we'll have cosine square plus sine square theta, which is 1 by identity. So we have 500 square, then combining these constants, this constant, then minus 600, that would be negative 286 point, 286,073. Then plus uh, 246420 cosine theta, then this one minus 114910 sine theta equals 0. So simplifying further, 246,420 cosine theta minus 114,910 sine theta equals 36,073. So using your calculator, there's no need to simplify this and replace, like for instance, sine theta to square root of 1 minus cosine square theta. It will take time, longer time. Or by trial and error, theta would now be 57.38 degrees. So that alpha is 57.38 degrees minus 30. So that's 27.38 degrees. And we take note of the possibility that alpha will be somewhere here, such that the forces will be there. So it's also possible that theta is 200 plus degrees. So try 200 plus degrees. Theta, the other value is 252.6 degrees, so alpha would be minus 30, 222.6 degrees. Therefore, the range of values of alpha would be 27.38 degrees less than equal to alpha less than equal to 222.6 degrees. Problem 11, this is the last 2D problem, and the resultant here is 0 because this pulley here, subjected to this cable system, is in equilibrium. A load Q, which is this, is applied to pulley C, which can roll on the cable ACB. So for that case, the tension on each side of this pulley is the same. That tension there and the tension here. The pulley is held in position shown by a second cable CAD. Take note that the passage of this cable here is also one uh, side or one turn, and it is extended. So that means because the pulley is frictionless, assumed to be frictionless, we are not yet on that topic. So the tension here, P, is also the tension in this portion, CA. So labeling the tension in ACB as just T and the tension in CA as P as shown, then we have to set Rx 0, and Rx 0 equals X component of this T here, T cosine 25, then degrees minus T cosine 55 degrees minus P cosine of 55 degrees equals 0. So factor out T, quantity cosine 25 minus cosine 55 degrees, then my equals P, because P is given magnitude 750 cosine 55. So T quantity cosine 25 minus cosine 55 degrees equals 750 cosine 55 degrees. So T can now be solved. It is 1293 newtons. Then in the second part, what is the value of Q? Summation versus Y equals 0. So T sine 25 degrees, Ry is 0. T sine 25 degrees plus T sine 55 degrees plus P sine 55 degrees minus Q. So substitute the value of both T and P. 1293 quantity sine 25 degrees plus sine 55 degrees plus 750 sine of 55 degrees equals Q, or minus Q equals 0. So Q is the sum of these two. So Q is 2220 newtons. So that's it for this problem. Problem 13, if F3, the magnitude is 9 kilonewtons, this force here, which is directed towards this ball and socket joint. Theta is 30 degrees, this angle, and P is 45 degrees, that angle there. Determine the magnitude and coordinate direction angles of the resultant force acting on the ball and socket joint. So the plan is to express each into vector form, but before that, if you cannot directly express that in vector form, so you solved it. You solve the components by basic and slow approach. So take note that this is a right triangle. This is on the XY plane. So I'll call this F1XZ, F1XY rather, which is 10 adjacent of 60 degrees. So 10 cosine of 60 degrees. F1XY is 10 cosine 60 degrees, and that is 5 kilonewtons. So let's put the direction and components of F1 as shown so that you won't be confused. This is the positive x-axis and the component is going in the opposite direction. Take note that this hypotenuse of this right triangle is 5 kilonewtons. And the angle here is 30 degrees, that angle there 30 degrees. And this component is also equal to this component here, which is opposite of 30 and negative. So it is equal to negative 5 sine of 30 because it is opposite. This component here is that component. F1x. So F1x is negative 5 sine of 30 degrees, and that is negative 2.5 kilonewtons. F1y, on the other hand, is this the component, and it is in the positive y direction, so it is positive, and it is also equal to this adjacent to 30 degrees. So that would be positive 5 cosine of 30 degrees, F1y, and that is equal to 4.330 kilonewtons. Then F1z is obviously going down, so it's negative, and it is negative of 10 sine of this angle, which is 60 degrees, or negative 10 cosine of this angle, which is 30 degrees. Cosine of negative 10 cosine of 30, or negative 10 sine of 60. So F1z is negative 10 sine of 60 degrees, and that's negative 8.660 kilonewtons. F1 therefore in vector form is quantity negative 2.5i plus 4.33j minus 8.66k kilonewtons. Then F2. For F2, let's have these components. There is no y component. So F2x is definitely negative. It is in that direction, and it is opposite of this, and the slope is of course 3 over 5. So F2 is negative 8 times 3 over 5, F2x. Negative 8 times 3 over 5, and that is negative 4.8 kilonewtons. F2z is positive, and that is 8 times 4 over 5. Do not memorize sine or cosine. You should know the definition. So 6.40 kilonewtons. Since there's no y component, F2 in vector form is quantity negative 4.8 I, then positive 6.4 K newtons. Then finally, this F3 here, which is going to this point, these are the components going down, going forward, then going to the left. So going forward, positive X component. But before that, let's solve for this adjacent side, which lies on the XY plane, and that is F3, 9 cosine of P, which is 45. So F3XY is 9 cosine 45 degrees, and that's 6.364 kilonewtons. Fx is this component, so it is hypotenuse, which is 6.364, and it is opposite of theta, which is 30 degrees. So it is positive 6.364 sine of 30 degrees, sine of theta. And that is 3.182 kilonewtons. F3y is going in that direction, opposite to y. So that's negative, adjacent to theta, adjacent to 30. So it is negative hypotenuse, which is 6.364 cosine of 30 degrees, and that is equal to negative 5.511 kilonewtons. Then finally, F3 Z is negative, opposite to the positive Z direction. So that is F39 sine opposite. So sine of P, which is 45, but it is negative. Negative 9 sine of 45 degrees, and that is equal to negative 6.364 kilonewtons. So the resultant in vector form is vector F1 plus vector F2 plus vector F3. So this is F1 plus F, uh, this is F3 rather, then R is F1 plus F2 plus F3, adding corresponding terms, which is for I negative 2.5, negative 4.8, and positive 3.182. So that would be negative 4.118I, 4.33J, 0, then negative 5.511J is negative 1.181J. Then for K, negative 8.66 plus 6.4 minus 6.364, and that's negative 8.624K. So the magnitude of R is square root of 4.118 square plus 1.181 square plus 8.624 square, and that is equal to 9.629 kilonewtons. So that's the magnitude of R. Then for the direction angles, we have to express this R here in as a unit vector by dividing that by 9.629. So lambda R is negative 4.1181I minus 1.181J minus 8.624K divided by 9.629. And that would now be the unit vector of R, negative 0.4277I, negative 0.12265J, negative 0.8956K. Cosine theta x is negative 0.4277 inverse cosine. So that would be an obtuse angle equal to 115.3 degrees. Cosine of theta y is negative 0.12265. So theta y inverse cosine of negative 0.12265 is 97.05 degrees. Cosine theta z is negative 0.8956 in, so theta z inverse cosine of negative 0.8956 degrees is 153.6 degrees. Problem 14. The tower is held in place by three cables. If the force of each cable acting on the tower is shown, determine the magnitude and coordinate direction angles alpha, beta, gamma of the resultant force. Take x 20 meters, y 15 meters. So these angles, direction angles alpha, beta, gamma, I'll just represent them with theta x, theta y, theta z respectively in this problem. So let's express each force into vector form and let's label them as shown. So I'll call this F1, magnitude 400. So F1 in vector form is magnitude 400 times quantity. Uh, X is positive because 400 newtons is directed down to the right and forward. So since this is the x-axis, y-axis, and the z-axis is the vertical, so in vector form, F1 is 400 times 20i plus 15j minus 24k divided by the magnitude square root of 20 square plus 15 square plus 24 square. So simplifying, F1 is equal to 230.84I plus 173.13J minus 277.01K newtons. F2 is directed down, forward 16, then leftward 18. So F2 is magnitude of 600 times the quantity 16I minus 18J then minus 24K over square root of 16 square plus 18 square plus 24 square, and simplifying F2 equals 282.35I minus 317.65J minus 423.53K newtons. Then F3 is going down, rightward, and backward. So F3 is 800 times quantity negative 6i plus 4j, then minus 24k divided by square root of 6 square, 4 square plus 24 square. Simplifying, F3 is negative 191.34i plus 127.69j minus 766.16k. So the resultant is in vector form is vector F1 plus vector F2 plus F vector F3. Then adding like terms, so it will be 230.84i plus 282.35i minus 191.54i, then j combined, then k combined. So r is equal to 321.65i minus 16.83j minus 1466.7k. So the magnitude of R is square root of 321.65 square plus 16.83 square plus 1466.7 square. So solving for R, its magnitude is 1502 newtons. Then for the direction angles, so again, alpha is theta x, beta is theta y, and gamma is theta z. We express r in as a unit vector by dividing it by the magnitude of 1502. So 3 vector r divided by 1502. Simplifying, and that's lambda r is 0.2141i minus 0.011205J minus 0.9765K. So that means cosine of theta x or cosine of alpha is 0.2141, and inverse cosine of 0.2141 is equal to 77.64 degrees. That's theta x. Cosine of beta or cosine theta y is negative 0.011205, and theta y is equal to 90.64 degrees. Then cosine of gamma, which is also cosine of theta z, is negative 0.965, 9765. So theta z inverse cosine of 0.9765, and that is equal to 167.6 degrees. Problem 15. The chandelier is supported by 3 chains which are concurrent at point O. If the resultant force at O has a magnitude of 130 pounds and is directed along the negative z-axis, determine the force in its chain. So, because these uh, chains are equally spaced 120 degrees apart, we expect that their the magnitude of each force is the same. So that is Fa equals Fb equals Fc, and we will just call that as F. Their z component, which is downward, would be the same. So we multiply by 3 the z component of each force. Then the angle that each force makes with the vertical, let's consider this triangle, right triangle, 90 degrees here. That's the top spacing of the chains at their points of connection or attachment, 120 degrees, 120 degrees apart. That's why they are equally stressed, or the tension or force of each is the same. So F theta theta. So from the figure, Fa equals Fb equals F sub c. I'll just call that as F. Then tangent of theta is 4 over 6. So theta equals 33.69 degrees. So the force where, because the question is, if the resultant force at O has a magnitude of 130 pounds, so of course it is directed along the negative z-axis going down. So let's consider going down as positive, and we treat this as positive also. So 130 is 3 times the z component of the force. So 3 times z component of the force, which is F cosine of theta, is equal to 130 because we treat going down positive. So from there, we can now solve for F, and F is Fa equals Fb equals Fc, and that is 52.08 pounds. Problem 16. Two cables are used to secure the overhang boom in position and support the 1,500 Newton load. So two cables are used to secure the overhanging boom in position and supports the 1,500 Newton load. If the resultant force is directed along the boom from point A to point towards O, determine the magnitudes of the resultant force and forces Fb and Fc. Set X, this is 3 meters, and Z 2 meters. So let's have the forces. Fb in vector form is magnitude of Fb, then quantity, it is directed backward 2, so negative 2i, leftward negative 6j, then upward along z positive 3k divided by square root of 2 square plus 6 square plus 3 square, and simplifying, Fb vector is magnitude of Fb over 7, quantity negative 2i minus 6j plus 3k. Fc, on the other hand, is magnitude of Fc. Fc as a vector is magnitude of Fc. Then it is forward x, which is 3i, then negative 6j back to the left, then upward z2. So Fc is magnitude Fc quantity 3i minus 6j, then plus z 2k over square root of 3 square plus 6 square plus 2 square, and simplifying, that would be Fc over 7, quantity 3i minus 6j plus 2k. So take note that R is Ryj. There's no Rx because the resultant is directed from point A to O along Y but in the negative direction. So R is Ryj, and we expect Ry to be negative. The magnitude of Ry to be negative. But the magnitude of R is, remember, square root of sum of squares of its component. So R is always positive as magnitude. So first, R equals Fb plus Fc plus this 1,500 in vector form, which is negative 1,500k. So we equate Rx equals 0. So 0 equals negative 2 FB over 7, then positive 3 over 7 times 3 over 7 FC equals 0. So Ry is negative 6 over 7 FB, negative 6 over 7 FB, then negative 6 over 7 FC. That's Ry. That's the way how to solve for Ry later. So, but Rx is 0. Let's have Rx is 0 first. So Rx is 0 and it is equal to negative 2 over 7 FB plus 3 over 7 FC, equation 1. Then Rz equals 0. Summation forces along z equals 0. So 0 equals 3 over 7 FB, then plus 2 over 7 FC, then supposedly minus 1,500 equals 0. So when we transpose minus 1,500 to the left side of the equation, then this will be the resulting equation. Solving equations 1 and 2 simultaneously, we get FB 2423 newtons and FC 1615 newtons. So those are the magnitudes of FB and FC. Then for R, we substitute it here because we expect that R is Ry of Ry. Magnitude of R is the absolute value of Ry, but Ry is expected negative from this equation. So Ry is negative 6 over 7 times 2423, then negative 6 over 7 times 1615, and that is equal to negative 3461 newtons because the magnitude of R is square root of Rx squared, 0 square plus Ry square, 3461 square plus Rz square, 0 square. So the magnitude of R is 3461 newtons. Problem 17. The cable AO exerts a force on top of the pole of F equals quantity negative 120I minus 90J minus 80K pounds. If the cable has a length of 34 feet, this AO here, the length is 34 feet, determine the height Z of the pole and the location X, Y of its base. So our AO in vector form in terms of coordinate is its magnitude 34 feet times the unit vector of F. So unit vector of F, so RAO is magnitude of RAO times the unit vector of F. The unit vector of F is negative 120I minus 90J minus 80K over square root of 120 square plus 90 square plus 80 square. Remember that the vector is, because the unit vector is equal to the vector itself divided by its magnitude, then the vector is equal to uh, unit vector times its magnitude. So 34 times RAO, which is 34 times magnitude of RAO is 34 feet times unit vector of the direction, which is also the unit vector of the force. So simplifying, unit vector of the force is negative 120I minus 90J minus 80K over 170. We then multiply that by 34. RAO equals 34 times negative 120 over 170I minus 90 over 170J minus 80 over 170K. So that would be equal to, so it is repeated. Distributing RAO equals negative 24I minus 18J minus 16K. If we have ROA, then we just make it negative of this whole quantity. So ROA equals quantity 24I plus 18J plus 16K. So that means x is 24, y is 18, and z is 16 feet. So z is 16 feet, and x comma y is 24 comma 18 feet. So that's it. Problem 18. The antenna tower is supported by three cables. If the forces of these cables acting on the antenna are FB is 250 newtons, FC 680 newtons, FD 560 newtons, determine the magnitude and coordinate direction angles of the horizontal force at A. So let's express each in vector form. So FB is equal to magnitude 520 times quantity negative 10j, because this is the y direction, positive, there's no x, this is the x direction, negative 10j, then negative 24k all over square root of 10 square plus 24 square. So FB is 520, quantity negative 10j, negative 24k over square root of 10 square plus 24 square newtons, and that's negative 200j minus 480k newtons. FC is equal to magnitude 680 times the quantity positive 16i, positive 18j, then negative 24k over square root of 16 square plus 18 square plus 24 square. Simplifying, FC in vector form is 320i plus 360j minus 480k. Then FD is magnitude 560 times quantity negative 12i, positive 8j, then negative 24k over square root of 12 square plus 8 square plus 24 square. And that is equal to negative 240i plus 160j minus 480k. So R is the sum of FB, FC, and FD. So combining like terms, this would be the result, 80i plus 320j minus 1440k newtons. So the magnitude is square root of 80 square plus 320 square plus 1440 square, and that is equal to 1477 newtons. Then for the direction angles, we need to express R in as a unit vector by dividing its magnitude. The actual magnitude of R is 1477.3 to be accurate. So lambda R is equal to 0.05415i, 0.2166j, negative 0.9748k. Cosine theta x is 0.05415, and therefore inverse cosine of 0.05415, theta x is 86.90 degrees. Cosine theta y is 0.2166. So inverse cosine of 0.2166, theta y is equal to 77.49 degrees. Cosine theta z is negative 0.9748. So theta z is inverse cosine of negative 0.9748 is equal to 167.1 degrees. So problem 19. Uh, if the resultant of the four forces is Fr, negative 360k pounds, determine the tension developed in its cable. So due to symmetry, the tension in the four cables is the same. So take note that the Z component of the cables would be the same also. So if I denote the tension in its cable as T, and it is equal to FA, FB, FC, and FD, then if expressing T in vector form, it is equal to the magnitude of T, and let's represent that T by FA, then it is directed down, forward, and to the left. So therefore, take note, forward is the x-axis, rightward is the y-axis, positive y, and upward is the z-axis. So T equals, vector T is equal to magnitude of T, quantity 3i, then minus 2j, then minus 6k over square root of 3 square plus 2 square plus 6 square. So the z component t therefore is t times quantity 3i minus 2j minus 6k over 7. So the z component of each force is negative 6 over 7 of t. And we multiply that by 4, then equate it to negative 360. So R is negative RZ and it is negative 360 equals 4 times the Z component negative 60 over 7. So we can now solve for T. Negative 360 times 7 over negative 24. So T is 105 pounds. Problem 20. Knowing that the tension is 510 pounds in cable AB and 425 pounds in cable AC, determine the magnitude and direction of the resultant of the forces exerted at A by the two cables. So this time, this problem is taken from the book by Baer and Johnson and Mazurik, the 11th edition. The previous problems, most of them were taken from Hibbeler's book. So here, AB in vector form, let's call it FAB or tension AB. It is equal to 510, then times quantity going to the right, x 40i, going down y negative 45j, then going forward z plus 60k over square root of 40 square plus 45 square plus 60 square. Simplifying, FAB is equal to 240i minus 270j plus 360k pounds. Now for FAC, it is magnitude 425 times quantity 40 plus 60, so 100i minus 45j, then plus 60k. So 425, 100i minus 45j plus 60k over square root of 100 square plus 45 square plus 60 square. So FAC is equal to 340i minus 153j plus 204k. So the resultant is FAB plus FAC in vector addition, resultant, so adding corresponding components. So R is 580I minus 423J plus 564K pounds. So mag, uh, magnitude square root of 580 square plus 423 square plus 564 square. So the magnitude of R is equal to 912.9 pounds. So cosine theta x is 580 over 912.9. So from there, we can solve theta x equal to 50.55 degrees. Cosine theta y is negative 423 over 912.9. So theta y is 117.6 degrees. Then cosine theta z is 564 over 912.9. So inverse cosine theta z is 51.84 degrees. So problem 21, the boom OA carries a load P, which is this, and is supported by two cables as shown, these two cables here. Knowing that the tension in cable AB is 183 pounds and that the resultant of the load P and of the forces exerted at A by two cables must be directed along OA, determine the tension in cable AC. Then also determine the magnitude of P, just a follow-up. So let's indicate in this figure the free body diagram for the forces at A. So this is the resultant, which is going to the left. So it is negative of the magnitude of R, because R is Rx, so negative Ri. Then tension AB is 183 times quantity negative 48I positive 29J, then positive 24K. It is left, up, and to the forward. So that's why negative, positive, positive. Over square root of 48 square plus 29 square plus 24 square. Simplifying, the tension in AB is negative 144I plus 87J plus 72K pounds. Then tension AC is negative magnitude of tension AC times quantity negative 48I plus 25J, then minus 36K over square root of 48 square plus 25 square plus 36 square. Simplifying, vector tension AC is magnitude tension AC times negative 48 over 65I plus 5 over 13J minus 36 over 65K. So Rx is negative R. So Ry is 0 and Rz is 0. So P is also negative Pj because it is going down. So negative of magnitude of P times J. So summation forces along Z will solve tension AC right away. So that is 72, then minus 36 over 65 tension AC equals 0. So R is negative Ri, of course. So again, Rz is 0, and that is 72, then plus negative 36 over 65 tension AC. So we can now solve tension AC. Tension AC is equal to 130 pounds for that problem. Since we are required to determine the magnitude of B, then let's have summation forces Y equals 0. So that is um, 87, then plus tension AC 5 over 13, then plus negative P equals 0. So Ry equals 0 equals 87 plus 5 over 13 tension AC, then plus negative P equals 0 equals Ry. So substitute the value of AC, P therefore is 87 plus 130 times 5 over 13. So P is 137 pounds. So last problem, 22. Three cables are used to tether a balloon as shown. Determine the vertical force P exerted by the balloon at A, knowing that the tension in cable AD is 481 newtons. So let's have the free body diagram of portion A as shown. So let's express tension AB in vector form, tension AC in vector form, and the tension in AD with magnitude 481 newtons in vector form also. Vector P, which is upward, is equal to magnitude of P times J. And if we expect that it is upward because these tensions are going down at A. Remember, tensile forces are away from the point of application. So tension AB is magnitude of tension AB times negative 4.2I, then negative 5.6 J over square root of 4.2. So R is 0. Rx equals Ry equals Rz 0 also. So that's the meaning. So tension AB is magnitude of tension AB times quantity negative 4.2I negative 5.6J over square root of 4.2 square plus 5.6 square. Simplifying, tension AB is magnitude of tension AB times quantity negative 0.6I minus 0.8J. Tension AC is magnitude of tension AC times quantity 2.4I, then minus 5.6J, then plus 4.2K divided by square root of 2.4 square plus 5.6 square plus 4.2 square. So tension AC simplifying is equal to quantity 12 over 37, magnitude of tension AC quantity 12 over 37I minus 28 over 37J plus 21 over 37K kilonewtons. Then this for 81 is tension AD is 481 times quantity negative 3.3 I, negative 5.6 J, then negative 3.3 K over square root of 5.6 square plus 3.3 square. And that is tension AD equals negative 414.4 J, then minus 244.2 K. So setting uh, Rx equals 0 and it is equal to negative zero point 0.6 tension AB, then 12 over 37 plus 12 over 37 tension AC. So zero point 0.6 tension AB plus 12 over 37 tension AC equals 0. Call that equation 1. Then RZ equals 0. So RZ equals 0. 0 tension AB plus 21 over 37 tension AC, then minus 244.2 equals 0. So from there, because the coefficient of tension AB is 0, we can now solve tension AC. 244.2 times 37 over 21, and that is equal to 430.26 newtons. Substitute here to solve for tension AB. Negative zero point 0.6 tension AB plus 12 over 37 times 430.26 equals 0. So tension AB is equal to 232.57 newtons. So finally, we can now solve for P, Ry equals Pj, and it is equal to 0. So 0 equals P minus zero point 0.8 tension AB. So Ry is 0 equals P minus zero point 0.8 tension AB, and tension AB is 232.57, then minus 28 over 37 of tension AC, and tension AC is 430.26, then plus negative 404.4. So solving for P is equal to 926.1 newtons. So P in vector form is 926.1, positive 926.1 J newtons. So the answer is this, or you may have P, magnitude of P 926.1 newtons, and you label the direction upward. So that's it for this entire part 9.